This video is going to show a solo master Vex Obscura mission during the Season of the Risen. In order to get the Dead Messenger Catalyst, that's what you need to complete the master difficulty to get the Catalyst. So this is showing you a solo run of that. For those who just want to see that, then skip the timestamps you have available to you. Over that, I can show you the weapons, etc. that are used and the modifiers. So the difference between normal and master is a massive step up. It's 1580 in power, and the ads hit a lot harder, and there's a lot more champions in this. Not only that, the timing is the same. The time limit you have is the same for normal and master, which is very harsh in my opinion. I'll talk more about that in the run itself. But these are the mods. We have Chaff, the Match Game Shelter, Solar and Void, Champions Mob, Equipment Locked, Pestilence, and Champions are Barrier and Unstoppable. So we need to count that for in our setup. So we're using the exotic linear fusion rifle Arbalest in our kinetic slot. A Void hand cannon bottom dollar for Unstoppable. This is for Barrier, of course, because Arbalest is intrinsic. So that's Champions covered. And then we're using Royal Entry, a Void rocket launcher. I highly recommend using some sort of rocket launcher or a linear fusion if you want, but because of how frantic the boss fight is, I really think the rocket launcher is a better choice. It was for me in the end when I was running this mission. It's just up to yourself. If you don't have a good bottom dollar, then use Palindrome, because you want to go for Void weapons with the setup that I'm using. We're using a Void Elemental Well build. So we've got a lot of different mods on. So I'll start from here. We have Well of Tenacity. So when we pick a Void Well up, we get resistance when we do that. We've also got Volatile Flow on. When we pick up a Void Well, we get the volatile rounds to all our Void weapons. Elemental Ordnance. When we get a kill with our grenades, we get a Void Well. And then Font of Might. When we pick up a Void Well, we also get that weapon damage bonus for Font of Might. Other really important things about this is that I've got Ashes Tassets on for increased super regen, which we're spamming our grenades a lot. Contraverse holds the exotic Gauntlets, which gives us improved charging for Void grenades. Bolster and Detonation, Unstoppable hand cannon. Triple Solar Resist. I don't know if Triple Solar Resist stacks. 2 does. I don't know if 3 does. But I just ran this to test it. And I felt like I was getting extra resistance of it. But I have no means tested that. So for the most part, just put 2 on. Volatile Flow as well, as you saw. Well of Tenacity. On the cloak, not the cloak, but the class item, we've got Overload Grenades. Overload Grenades works on all ads, not just Overload Champions. Okay, all champion type style things work on all ads. They have their own effect. Lucent Finisher is very important because defeating a champion which says Lucent Hive Lightbearer or champion spawns you heavy, and it does not cost you any super cost. So this is so important to put that on. You want to make sure you've got a high discipline start and high recovery for this. Scavenger mods on the boots as well, and that was pretty much it. As for the fragments and all that stuff, well, we've got Vortex Grenade, Heal and Rift, Chaos Accelerant, Feed the Void, so devour and buff up your nades. Echo of Undermining for the weaken effect, which is super important. Remnants, so we have an increased duration on that weaken effect and your grenades. And then Echo of Expulsion, right, because it gives you that void explosions on all the targets. That was the setup that we were using. So as the mission starts, you will get an objective to say you want to sneak in the hangar. I advise you don't do that yet. First you want to take out the champions, because the champions have already spawned in. You probably don't know this, but you can come around here and already spawn kill the Unstoppable. This is really worth doing, because when you deal with the tank on the next phase, which is timed by the way, if the Unstoppable gets in your way, you're going to lose time. So doing this right now is beneficial. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get this champion finishables for some heavy, just to build up our rocket count a little bit, and then take out the free sounds. Take out the free sounds because they can get in the way as well. They can do their void track and move and stuff like that. Then we're going to spawn our Sparrow and then go to the entrance of where you need to sneak into. Since we're here, we'll also take out these ads and the barrier. This is kind of important to do this as well. If you're going to do this the whole strat like me, then I highly recommend you just take out the barrier right now, which is easy to do. And ammo isn't a biggest of problems for this starting section because you're going to be on the vehicles, of course. Now your power level is affected massively in this, in terms of when you're in a vehicle, the higher your power, the better the vehicle performs, the more damage it does, the more tanky it's going to be. So if you're below 1571 and the adds are swords, I would say to you, don't solo this. You're not going to be able to get the time to do it. In terms of you're not going to be able to have enough time to beat the boss and do everything. In a team, you're going to be fine, okay, obviously. But I would recommend at least be over 1572. 1572 would be your minimum power that you want to attempt to solo it, if that's the route you're going to take. We'll take out the Unstoppable and get one of the Interceptors. Notice the timer hasn't started yet. The timer will start at 4:30 once you go outside the door. As you can see, it's started now. You'll get Cabal spawning right in the middle. You want to go left. Watch the Void Scion on the vehicle. They can one-shot you basically with a direct hit. They do massive damage. So what I'm wanting to do here is come right round. Because we're on Master, I'm not going to ram the tank. I understand you can one-shot the tank. But on Master, I'm not going to do that. What I'm going to do is optimize a little bit because we need to clear out the turrets. There's 3 turrets. Because once the fresh timer starts, you want the tank, the Drake tank, whatever it's called, you want it full health or as much health as possible for the next phase. These turrets will melt the tank that you get. It's so important that your tank is in good health because you don't get another one until the next cycle of towers. You got one tank. I don't know why, it's kind of silly, but that's what it is. So we'll melt the tank, the enemy tank off straight away, which is easy to do with Arbalest, rockets, nades. Then here's the Drake tank. So you need to get in this tank as soon as possible. I'm not joking. If you leave this like a second late, you'll be melted by the Thresher and the champion that's spawning in right now. There's a Cabal champion. So champion to my right, you need to make it over here as quickly as possible. As I said, if you're a second or two slower than me, your tank will get literally melted. Especially if you're lower in power, your tank will basically blow up. Okay, obviously there's a timer still ticking, right? So you need to get to the next area and take out the 2 tanks. So my strat with this is I oscillate between the back side of the map. Because the front side of the map, all the snipers and the turrets are more likely to hit you. So you want to constantly be on the move while shooting the tank. Hit the tank, don't be hit. Or try not to. I got hit here, but my power level helped, so the tank didn't get one shot, so to speak. Then we'll just keep moving, as I said, the back side. Try and hit the legs. If you do damage to the legs of the tank, you do more damage. When the Drake tank explodes, it has a second or two before that happens, so you can sort of sit in the tank, do one final shot and then jump out. You will then spawn with full HP. Another interesting thing is if you're like one shot, then you spawn the Drake tank. Obviously it doesn't matter because then the tank's HP takes over, right? So it can sort of save you when you spawn in a fresh tank. So now we've got the towers to do. We're a minute 30, we're on good time. Just need to take the 3 towers. Don't be shy getting a new tank. Like right now, I've got 2 of the towers down. My tank's pretty weak. I'm going to spawn a fresh one. These Unstoppables do a lot of damage to these tanks. I'm going to jump out of that. Respawn another tank. And now we just need to take the final tower. Which the final tower on the right hand side is a little harder to get with the angle. It's just one direct hit to the shield and then one shot to the core, and then that takes out each tower. You can do massive damage to the Unstoppables as well in the tank. The tank has 2 firing modes. It has the main heavy attack and then the light attack, the Horman one. The Horman one doesn't do as much damage, but it's good for seeking out targets, and you're going to see me do that in a minute. As I said, if your tank's one shot, Once it loses its HP, you've got like a second or two to jump out, so there's time. Try and stay on the back side of the map because there's a bunch of Scion Ultras, there's turrets, there's a lot of stuff up. So try and stay away from all that stuff. Staying back here means you won't get hit. Also the freshers, you need to take out the freshers, so we'll spawn another tank. Notice the timer's gone. So the timing element was just to get the towers down. Once you get the towers down, you can take your time again. Right. I wouldn't recommend running through. We're on a Warlock, you can't go invis past. So what I would recommend doing is take out the right hand side adds. Because we are going to skip these, we're going to skip the champs and stuff. But we're going to take out what's necessary to be taken out. There's a turret left and right of the bridge. There's also freshers to take out. The remaining ones, take those. They're a free shot for me, might be more for you. And then you want to hit the red door from here with the tank. You can't take down the red door with your weapons. So we can do an easy shot from here. Then I'm just doing my homing to see if there's any more turrets. There isn't, I got them both. So that's good. There's 2 barriers on the bridge, we're going to skip them. We're just going to stealth behind, in front of them. Sorry, to the right side. And then just sort of skip past. And that's pretty much that bit done. As I said, this isn't a flawless run, so it is going to clip out to the next section. But the next section is going to start you with a 10-minute timer. So now we're on a 10-minute timer. It has an opportunity for you to put a banner in. So we're going to do that. And then what you want to do is, as soon as that timer starts, you need to beeline it. You need to push for this. I know it's risky and you may die, but this is the nature of the mission. It's 10 minutes to do this intro section, the 3 majors, and the boss all in that time. Which is why you're not seeing many people solo this, because the timing's too harsh and people aren't close to the power of 1580 yet. I mean, there is obviously plenty of people, but the mass majority of people like 1570s, like 1570s, late 1560s, something like that. So you see there's 2 unstoppables to take, but I got lost time. What happened was the unstoppable didn't spawn, right? Which is annoying. I'm lost in time because of that, because the trigger for that door is the 2 unstoppables. That is it. So I'm sitting there waiting for the unstoppable to spawn. It is what it is. I'll just continue with the run now. We skip the dogs, we skip the cleaver. You've got to pay close attention to exactly what I'm doing, because as I said, if you're going to copy this, you need to sort of play really aggressive. We'll push the door. I went left hand side first. There's left and right to drop down, which I didn't explain. But left there's more cover. I'll explain a bit more after I take this solar shield. We need to push in and get the unstoppable and the free cabal first. Then you want to take out whatever major it is. Each room has a phalanx, a solar shield, or a void shield. This particular room has a solar. Now we have Arbalest to take down that shield if we need. Or we can use our void weapons. In my case, the champion's expulsion done solar damage to the solar shield, and it was fine to do that. Don't kill both majors. Kill the major that you need to kill. That saves you time also. I've run out of Devour and I didn't have my nade. I'm going to re-farm up my nade though. We'll jump over the fire. There's a set of fire that's each side. Save your super for the unstoppable. There's an unstoppable and a barrier in middle with 2 turrets. The unstoppable is the thing that you need to take down quickly. Arbalest will take care of the barrier quickly. So super the unstoppable, because you're going to get your super back. It's very important that you're using your super as much as possible, but you do want to save. After this point, don't use another super. By the time you get to the boss, you definitely need a super. If you don't, you will fail the boss and you won't have enough time, because you're really relying on your Nova Bomb doing a lot of damage. The boss fight's split into 3 phases. Now we'll do a middle door. Lead with the grenade first. It's important that you do that, because then that debuffs the champ and clears out all the adds at the same time. Now my time is a little off and I get booped from the Scion and the unstoppable, so I'm losing time right now. Just something as simple as this has lost me 10-20 seconds. So that's how sort of important this mission is, to sort of go as fast as possible. But as I said, each room has a major or a centurion or whatever, then you have to take down the scion with a melee or just go in the bubble. Whatever side the scion is on, take out that ad, but don't do it on the opposite. So I've left this ad alive. You can see I don't need to take this ad. It's losing me time, a time that I don't have. Now we'll work our way to the other side. Make sure you take out all the scions behind you. Don't let them snipe you. That's very important. We'll jump over the flame. It won't kill us, but it will get us weak, but we take that risk for a time gain. I'm not going to sit there and wait for the flame. We're going to get the champ finishable to get some heavy. We lose some finisher. It comes in really clutch, this mod. I'm going to be using that a lot. I didn't realise this mod was for champs. I thought it was just for Hive Guardians. I never read it properly when the season first came out. We'll take out this void backpack on this side. We'll lead with a grenade on these scions. We're doing that each time and let the nade do the work. I'll do 1 rocket per scion. I don't do 2, just the 1, just for ammo conservation. I'm on 6 rockets, which is healthy enough. We're going to the final boss. Plenty of Arbalest is very important for the next bit because there's 2 anti-bio champions to take out and a bunch of turrets. My hand cannon isn't going to do the work. It's too slow. So I'm going to use a bunch of Arbalest. And I can spam Arbalest because Arbalest is not needed that much for the boss fight. It's only really needed for like turrets. There's barrier champions in the boss fight room itself, but you're going to skip them. Unfortunately, that's the nature of this mission. Right, they've put champions in here, which I don't mind, but they've given us a 10-minute timer. So they're going to make us skip these champions. Why is that? That to me, I mean, I love time missions, as you know, right? Presage, 0 hour, whisper, all that stuff. But this one's not balanced correctly. Master should have a 15-minute timer to take out the 3 ultras and the boss. I don't know why they've done it where it's 10 minutes, but that's just what it is. So we'll have to work with that. So you saw that I charged my nade, I done a Nova, and then I done a rocket and an Arbalest to do 1 phase of the boss. Then I come left side and spam grenades behind cover because you're going to get a bunch of cleavers and dogs come. Now they are unlimited spawning from what I can tell. They just keep spawning up and up and up. But enhanced, not enhanced, but ashes to assets will help us get our super back. So that's what I'm kind of doing. I'm farming up some super energy. But I'm not going to stay there all day. I'm going to rotate to mid. I'll come to this next bit of cover. There's cover all around this map. You just need to use it. Take out the turrets as you go around. And the scions, we've got middle scion. Obviously there's left, middle and right. I'm sure you understand that. It's more about the position of it that you'll want to know about this mission. Use Arbalest for the next turret. All the turrets need to be taken out. There's 4 of them. You need to take them all. That's the final scion. We're 3.5 minutes left. We charged a good nade on the boss, which I'm happy about. The boss has Void, Arc and Solar. Right now he's in Void mode. Void mode can suppress you, Arc can do damage to you, and Solar's the worst. Solar is on phase 3 and 2 actually. He's on phase 2 and 3. But we're going to play underneath behind the boss. This is where you fight from. Our Nova's done massive damage. That's why Nova's so important. If you miss your Nova, it could be game over for you. So try not to miss it. This boss is kind of like slippery. He will try to avoid your Nova. Now I'm going to use a bit of rockets on the turrets because these turrets can flinch you so hard, especially with Arbalest and things. So I'm just going to try and speed up a little bit because we're 2.5 minutes. We're on the final phase, but this is when you need your time because phase 3 is the hardest because the boss will keep doing his solar move once his shield's taken out. So obviously I've done right side, I'm going to left. I'm making sure my Devour's going, my Devour chain. And we need to get them turrets down. So I'm going to use a bit of cover here. I'm going to get a healing rift. I know dogs are behind me just by the sound, not because of radar, because obviously Chaff's on. I'm just going to spam my rockets. I believe there's rockets on the map anyways. And I don't need all that much rockets. 2-4 rockets is enough for the final phase. I forgot that middle needs to be done. So I need to go to middle scion and take that. The barriers at RNG sort of, they will jump from platform to platform. If you get bad luck and they stomp you on the way to some location, then I'm sorry about that. It's just sort of how the fight is designed. It's a good boss room, but it's not designed to have champions in it. I don't know why they're putting champions in this. It's sort of, they should have just put the standard Cabal mages. I don't know why they've got champions, because obviously it's not intended for us to kill them, especially on a solo. Why would we be killing those champs? We're timed here to a great extent. So we're on the final phase. We're waiting to see what the boss is going to do. I'm going to charge a grenade and Nova. He dips my Nova, but I thought he did, but he didn't. If you check his HP bar, that does massive damage. That's just because of our power level. If I was a lot lower in power, that Nova wouldn't have done nowhere near as much. So my powers is helping me a little bit. I've got good movement here though. He's doing his solar attack. I haven't got my nade. That's what I'm waiting on. I have no devour, and I'm being chased by these cleavers. So I'm waiting on that. I get my nade just in time. We have a void weapon boost, Font of Might. We'll do 2 rockets to finish the boss, and that was the solo master Vex Obscura to get the catalyst for Dead Messenger. I hope you enjoy. Thank you.